Help support Friendo Club by going to patreon.com/Steven Larson or clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Access to bonus episodes, question threads for the Going In Raw podcast, and entry to our monthly wrestling predictions challenges. Join the Friendo Club today. Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hello.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're talking WWE Raw. The king and queen of the ring begins. Just a whole lot of wrestling last night, Larson. Also, we're going to talk about the CM Punk Drew McIntyre rivalry. While the promo from CM Punk last night might not have been the hottest promo in the world, the feud itself does have quite a bit of interest, quite a bit of heat behind it. So maybe we could just open with this really quick. When are they actually going to do this match? Where do you see this happening? We've got King and Queen of the Ring coming up. And then after that, we got Clash of the Castle, which is obviously going to be in Drew McIntyre's backyard, so to speak.
Yeah, Punk referenced coming to Glasgow.
Right.
To confront Drew McIntyre, because the whole crux of Punk's promo last night is he comes to the ring and says, Drew McIntyre, you're a coward. I know you left, but I'm sure you're watching on your phone or following Twitter after you drove away. So come back now, coward, so we can fight.
Yeah.
Problem was Punk didn't have enough quality material to fill the time allotted to him. And the whole premise of him saying, well, maybe I'll just take over Raw until he comes back, didn't go anywhere. There's no security. But anyways, yes, we'll get to that in a second. It all hinges on how soon Phil's going to be cleared to wrestle. If he's not cleared for another 3 months, it won't be till SummerSlam probably. And if he gets cleared before then there's a chance it could be a Clash of the Castle. It's entirely possible. Although I'd have a hard time believing they'd have Drew take a L in Scotland, but you never know that if they're always kind of like missing each other on Raw, only for Phil Punk to show up at Clash at the Castle to cost Drew another World Heavyweight Championship match against Damian Priest, for example. I suppose that's a possibility, but it's hard to tell until we know when Punk's cleared. I mean, he's not wearing the arm brace anymore for his triceps injury, but there's been no indication from him or anybody else about when he might be available to wrestle. Best case scenario you'd think would be Clash at the Castle, but probably most likely maybe SummerSlam.
My guess at this point, given what we've seen with the promos, given what we've seen with Punk and how kind of mobile he is, he's not wearing the thing anymore. He gave an indication in an interview. I don't know. Was it Mania? Oh, I think it was the Ariel Helwani interview, that he was very elusive about his level of clearance and when that would be, but he did indicate that summertime was a possibility. I think it's entirely possible that he's cleared now and they're just not going to have him do anything until that actual match. And I kind of feel like I originally going into this over the past couple of months, it seemed like, okay, it might be a no-brainer to do Drew versus Priest at Clash of the Castle. He wins there. Is a title-less Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk match headlining Clash of the Castle a possibility? Assuming everybody's clear, because I feel like Punk is probably on the precipice, if not already cleared. They're just going to wait to make sure that the match he does is going to be the match. You know what I mean? Because his next match could be it for another 6 months. We don't know.
It could be, yeah.
You get him in that ring, the next time you get him in that ring, it better damn well make sense. And this Drew McIntyre thing has to happen.
Yeah.
To the best of their ability. And if you risk that with he's going to do a Madison Square Garden show or whatever, a special house show event. No, don't do that.
No.
Just wait for the actual match, do the match because it could be his last one. We don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think they could pull off the main event of Clash of the Castle without a title, Drew versus Punk? I think the rivalry has that juice behind it, man.
Oh, it does. It does. It just depends. Because here's the thing. Punk's probably going to win that match.
I don't know. No. If they do it in Glasgow, not a chance.
That's the point I was getting at. If Punk's going to win the first match, if that happens at Clash of the Castle, then that could potentially be an issue, considering it's It's Drew's home turf.
Yeah, I think Drew wins. No matter what, we know Drew wins at Clash.
Yeah, I think so. Probably it just depends whether he's winning the title, who he's beating, so on and so forth. But because whether he takes a loss directly to CM Punk or takes a loss because of CM Punk in some capacity, whether it's another title match, whatever the case may be. I mean, that's 2 years in a row then, or 2 Clash in the Castles in a row where Drew McIntyre takes an L, and I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Another thing is, Drew's got an injury of his own, and he's not missing TV time, but, he was pulled from the King of the Ring tournament last night, replaced with Jey Uso. So we don't know how long he's going to be out. He says it's a fractured elbow. That's what commentary has said. Don't know the severity of it. Obviously, he's not in a cast or any sort of brace. He's just wearing a sleeve. So we don't know how long he'll be out of action. Either you would suspect, given that he's not wearing any sort of apparatus or cast on his arm, odds are injury not as severe as the one CM Punk had. And depending on the severity of the break, he could be back relatively soon. Remains to be seen, though. But with so many variables still kind of floating around out there regarding injury status and whatnot, it's really hard to kind of pinpoint exactly when it's going to happen.
Yeah, my guess would be, I think it'd be most interesting to do, and I think Drew might be in this. That's probably why they pulled him. He probably could have done this damn tournament. They probably pulled him because it's like, we've got Clash coming up in 5 weeks now. Let's just go ahead and build this thing through promos and near misses, them almost being near each other, and then do it at Clash of the Castle. I would imagine that in the next couple of weeks we're going to get Drew McIntyre saying, "Look, you want to do this? Let's do this, and be done with it at Clash of the Castle." And Drew McIntyre just re-signed with WWE. CM Punk, dude, as much as I would love to see him, because I think that he's having a lot of fun in WWE, and I think it would be a shame for him not to have a proper run. I don't think you can bank on that. I don't think you could bet on that happening. And so, yeah, he takes that L to Drew. I don't think it hurts Punk. I don't think it hurts Drew. And then if everybody is, if this feud has more, steam behind it, you revisit it. Let Punk get his win back. Let Punk win the title at WrestleMania next year, for all I know, against Drew McIntyre. I don't know. But I think that it would not shock me to see Drew McIntyre pick up a win against CM Punk at Clash of the Castle without any titles on the line. Heading into this, I was like, oh man, I think that Drew's going to be fighting for the title now. I don't know.
Yeah, don't know either. I mean, he's going to be in a high-profile match in some capacity. You also don't know exactly how long Seth Rollins is going to be out. You got to assume they're going to go back to the Seth CM Punk feud as well after Punk is finished with this feud with Drew. Whether that's the feud for the fall for CM Punk and Seth Rollins, don't know.
That could be a SummerSlam thing. That could be a SummerSlam thing for sure.
Could
yeah.
Be. Yeah. It could be. Now can we talk about what CM Punk actually had to say?
Oh, I was hoping because I did. I was hoping you were going to say, can we talk about King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, anything else?
We're on the topic of CM Punk. Let's just get through it all now. So, as mentioned earlier, he was going to take over Raw until Drew comes back so he could fight him. But just didn't have the material to fill 10 minutes or however long it was. It felt like 12 minutes. Maybe it was 5. I don't know how long it was. And the punchline, the punctuation on it, wasn't necessarily strong enough. Like, there's no security to come out and be like, no, CM Punk, sorry, you can't take over Raw. We actually have a King and Queen of the Ring tournaments we have to get through. And in fact, I'm feeling like at least one of the matches for this tournament that was supposed to air on Raw tonight is getting kicked to a house show because of this promo segment. So let's try to wrap it up. And thinking of ways, in hindsight, that they could have done something similar without it filling up so much time, and we could have saw Rey Mysterio versus Kofi Kingston and Zelina versus Shayna Baszler on Raw last night.
All right, so I'll get static for this, and that's fine. If somebody said, hey, we're going to have a shit ton of wrestling on Raw, we're also going to have like a 7-minute CM Punk promo, Should we get rid of the promo and have another match? I don't think anybody would ever say, yeah, no, it's a good idea. I don't think. No, I think. Look,
That's
win
on
with
paper. I know. I understand on paper you see that. And you're like,
so here's the thing though. In storyline, but think about this in storyline. The funny thing about CM Punk now, and I like that you bring up the whole idea of like security coming out there. I'm gonna hold up Raw, buddy. You're a draw. Nobody's gonna say no to you. Nobody in their right mind is gonna be like, oh, CM Punk is holding up Raw. Really? He's out there on the mic right now. He's holding up Raw. Oh, that sucks. Our ratings are gonna go up. Like, he can't hold up Raw anymore because he's not an anti-authority guy anymore. That's not him. So if he wants to go out there and talk all day long, in the Paul Levesque era, Paul Levesque's going to be like, yeah, go ahead. That sounds cool. Everybody wants to see that.
But because there was no urgency to anything he was doing because the
promo sucked, dude. The promo sucked.
It did. But that's like, again, on paper, if you have 7 minutes allotted for a CM Punk promo, oh, okay, this could be pretty good.
Yeah.
But without any sense of urgency throughout the entire segment, no real end point to punctuate the point he was trying to make, there really is no reason for that promo to exist.
Yeah.
You know, it was, hey, we're going to give Phil 7 minutes on the show tonight. That's what it felt like.
Yeah. It's not always going to be gold.
No, it's not. But especially when you have a tournament that you're trying to kickstart again, King and Queen of the Ring, and you advertise 4 matches from each side of the bracket for the men's and women's tournament on the show, and you pull it. And again, this is all hindsight. I get it. And you pull 2 of them, and we get this promo instead, which could have been ways where they could have done it, chopped it up a bit, where he's backstage saying, hey, come on, Drew, I'm here now. Show up, let's fight. Chop it up a little bit. Have it be a through line through the show instead of a 7-minute block of nothing.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We could be sitting here being like, oh, that was 7 minutes of pure gold. You don't know what you're going to get. You know, you put it there. It's Punk with a 7-minute promo. Or they give Ray and Kofi, including entrances, 5-minute match. Then people complain about it being a 5-minute match, or Shayna and Zelina. People complain about that. Instead, hey, you do something kind of cool on the house show circuit, an actual match with stakes on the house show circuit. That's kind of cool.
That is nice, but at the same time, like, I want to see Kofi versus Ray. I don't know where this match is happening on the house show circuit. I know I'm not going to see it because it's
you know what though,
for me to watch.
No, that's a great point. It'd be awesome if they were like, hey, on Peacock or on our YouTube channel, maybe they'll put it on the YouTube channel.
They better release it. Otherwise, we're going to see clips on Raw next week. Oh, Ray and Shayna advanced. Well, where's the match? I want to see the match. You know, like they did a good job. I thought on,
dude. Hey, sure. Be real right now. Be completely honest. Be real.
Yeah.
If they put this match up on YouTube and it's 15 minutes, both these matches, because you're talking about 2 matches.
Yeah.
You gonna watch them?
I don't know if I have time to watch them. But here's the thing. If they were on Raw,
what are we talking about then, my friend?
Let me finish. If they were on Raw, I most definitely would, because I have 3 hours allotted to watch WWE programming. I have a lot going on during my week. What, am I going to play basketball a half hour less?
I would never. No, man. I'm looking forward to it.
That's looking forward to it. Well, I'm keeping it real. If they're on YouTube, I'm going to watch them.
I appreciate that.
I don't know. Maybe not. I can't guarantee it. If they're on TV, you know what? 1,000% I would.
Because we review it. We have to. It's our job. We're getting paid to do this.
I know.
Oh man. You know what, dude? I do think that I think my point is sound, and I appreciate your point. I do, man. We got a lot of wrestling last night.
We did, and the way they handled the King of the Ring matches, they gave most of them a good amount of time, and they all delivered. It'd have been great if we got 2 more. Just give us 3 hours of like.
Yeah, I don't need 2 more, buddy. Come on, what is it, AEW? I don't need any more. I'm
starting to feel like you really don't like wrestling that much, Steve.
Oh no, well, I'm an e-drone, Larson. You know that.
I know that. You want your 5-minute matches.
I want a 7-minute Phil promo, and sometimes you're right, dude. Look, I will not disagree that he showed up, and I think sometimes, man, sometimes you're really good at something, and you think you can show up and just phone it in, and it's like, man, it happens sometimes here on the show. I don't bring my A game with my impersonations and my jokes and my whatnot. And sometimes after a show, you and I will sit there and be like, God, boy, that was a turd. It happens sometimes because we just show up and we do our thing. He just showed up to do his thing. And dude, I was like, where is he going with this? What is he even talking about right now? But it could have been one of those nights where he was just killing it. He was on fire. And then we'd be sitting here, epic Punk promo of the year.
Like I said, this is all in hindsight. If it was, if Punk's promo felt urgent and necessary and really advanced the story, that'd be one thing. Mm-hmm. It really didn't. Yeah. He tried to make a joke about Jack Perry and choking him out that didn't land.
Yeah.
You had to do to
drop that.
Am I right?
He brings that shit up, and they're just jokes that don't land. I mean, that's all they are.
They don't. They don't at all. And I'm not saying he can't make them. Fine, make them. I don't give a shit.
Make them funny though, right?
Make them funny. If you have to do the yeah. Like he knows that didn't land.
You got to sit there and like sort of laugh at your own joke so that other people laugh. That doesn't work, man. It
doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, in the end, I just feel like if you want to kind of rehabilitate the reputation of the king of the ring tournament and also the queen of the ring tournament. I guess there's only been one so far. So, but it's not like, when Vince was in charge, he treated the queen of the ring tournament with any manner of respect, really. Because most of the matches are all of 2 or 3 minutes.
How long was were each of like the Natalya and Io match and the
I don't know exactly, but they gave him a decent amount of time.
I would think, this is just me, the 2 matches we got last night combined, more wrestling than the entire tournament got last year on the Queen, or whenever it was.
Yeah,
because that was like when Vince did it last, the Queen of the Ring, it was atrocious. That was so bad.
It was.
We did get, look, man, I get your point about Kofi and Ray. I really do, and I hope they put them up on YouTube. If nothing else, these wrestlers are going to wrestle their ass off. It's going to be a couple of really good matches with Zelina and Shayna. Hopefully they put them up on YouTube so that people who do have time in their week to watch them will watch them.
Yes.
But I feel you on that. That being said, what we did get and what we seemingly are to expect now from King and Queen of the Ring is a lot of good wrestling. You know what I mean? Like,
the 3/4 of the matches they decide to put on television.
Sheamus and Gunther. Oh, really good. My God.
Ilya versus Ricochet. Really good.
Oh, my. Dude, a debut for Ilya on main roster against Ricochet. My only qualm about that, Larson, is Ricochet didn't wear the Speed title, man. Come on, you're Speed champion. You don't have to only wear that on Twitter.
Maybe that's what the company wants them to do, though. I don't know why. If you want to advertise the show you have up on Twitter to get more people to watch it, because there's a new season, they said, coming soon.
Yeah, they're doing another tournament, yeah.
Then have your champion wear the title so people are aware of the show. I know you advertise it during the show, but guess what? People fast forward through commercial breaks.
Does like Elon own the title and he's like, no, you're not going to put this on TV? Why wouldn't you want your crappy platform to be on USA Network?
I don't know.
What do you think of the title?
It's not the best.
I love you so much, dude.
Here's the thing. I appreciate they try to make it more colorful than the other titles. I do.
Right, yeah.
Because the other titles, they got the gold and they might have some accent color, but basically it's gold and silver and not much else is going on.
Right, yeah.
And this one's bright. It's colorful. I mean, I'm not huge on the giant Speed logo being on it, but it pops. It's got there's color on it beyond gold, silver, and I think the Raw tag titles have some maroon.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, dude, I can't see that. Like they showed Miz and Truth last night with those titles in the backstage segment.
Yeah,
I can't get pizza off my mind, and that's not atypical for me. But now when I see those titles, it
really emphasizes those thoughts in your mind, huh?
It really does. Yeah, man, the voice is talking to me in my head.
So again, I appreciate that they attempted to make it look different than all the other belts they have, basically, and it pops.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
When you see in a picture, your eye goes to it because it's bright and colorful.
Yeah.
The design itself, whatever. But I'm trying to talk about the positives I see as opposed to.
I'll be honest, I kind of like the title. You're absolutely right about the giant word "speed" in the middle.
Yeah.
But also, you got to figure people are watching this shit on their phones by and large. So, like, maybe, hey, what title is this? Well, I know now. It's giant letters that say speed.
Yeah.
I like the title. Honestly, I want this thing on WWEshop.com. Not saying I'll definitely buy it, but
Are
it's
you
a
sure it's
possibility.
not there?
I am. I did a whole WrestleJuice video on the title.
Oh.
And
I've only seen the one picture of it with Triple H and Ricochet.
they have there's that. There's like a couple screenshots from the show.
Look at that. You search WWE Speed title, and the first thing that pops up is your video, Steve.
Oh, look at that. SEO at work, man. SEO at work. Yeah, they got they have a render of it on
Oh yeah, look at that.
They got it's like a 2D render of it.
Well, I see the Wikipedia one.
Is it like it's not like the real thing. Hold on a second. WWE Speed title.
I mean the plate, the main plate
Wikipedia,
looks like
here we go.
It does.
Oh yeah, that's just a fake render, yeah.
Oh, it's a fake one, okay.
Yeah, that's not like a picture of it.
Oh, there it is. There's a picture of Triple H.
Yeah. No, it's a good. You're right. I like the little bit of color on it. I had to get schooled in the comments on the WrestleJuice video though, because I was like, "What's the deal with the speedometer on the top?" It's like the arrow thing is in the green.
Yeah.
And people were saying it's drag race inspired. That I didn't know, because you look at like a regular speedometer on a car, like a normal car, like
with the RPMs on there.
Right, or the RPMs, they don't have it's not color coded these days.
Well, at the end of the RPM one, it's red because you don't want to go in that area.
Right, exactly. So I was like, wait a second, doesn't red mean you're hot now? But no, people are like, no, red means
fast.
Right, yeah, red means.
I think also what color is the stop sign, Steve?
Well, yeah, that's what people are saying. They're like, some people are like doing the whole like face palm emoji on me, saying it's stoplights, and I'm like, I'm sorry, or traffic lights, and I'm like, wait, what does orange mean then? Last I checked, there weren't two versions of green on traffic lights.
No.
Use the face palm emoji on me.
It makes sense because if you're stopped, you're red, and if you're green, you're going.
There you go. Yeah, but I was like, they got Volt on that too, and forest green. That's crazy.
See, that's what they need is more Volt on that title.
Oh, I don't
change the name of the
that.
show to Warp
Speed. How great is it that Warp Speed was the first Speed champion? We called that years ago.
Makes sense.
Wow. Anyways, we're going to Warp Speed to our Raw review here in just a second, now that we've talked about a lot of stuff that happened on Raw. It's probably going to be like a quick review, though, because
it's a lot of wrestling
matches. It's just matches.
I don't mind that. I like wrestling in my wrestling shows.
Me too. All those people who were complaining about WWE not putting a lot of, there's only 13 minutes of wrestling on this show. Where are they? Where are they saying, man, there was a beefy 53 minutes of wrestling on the show last night or whatever it was?
Before we talk about Raw, while we're on the topic of King of the Ring, White Brownie on Twitter sent me the SmackDown side of the bracket. So I guess they, Raw Talk, they unveiled this. So these are your first round matches. You got AJ Styles versus Randall Keith Orton.
Randy Keith, I like that better. AJ Styles versus Orton, that's a banger match. That's going to be a good one.
You got Baron Corbin versus Carmelo Hayes.
Loss for Baron, but I like that he's back on main roster. Are we gonna? I wonder if he's gonna debut his new look.
Could be. Imagine if AJ wins his first round match against Randy, and we get Melo versus AJ in the second round. That could be good stuff.
Wow.
Next,
yeah.
LA Knight versus Santos Escobar. Steve, could you please?
Santos Escobar. Can I mention this real quick? I'm not necessarily certain that LA Knight is King of the Ring type. If the whole thing is like this is G1 light, or this is
if he could somehow wrestle AJ Styles in every round, I think he'd be fine. Because it's two matches with AJ
against Santos.
Maybe.
Who's he feuding? Who's LA Knight feuding with right now?
AJ Styles.
Is it still his gum?
His gum. Yeah. And then Bobby Lashley versus Tama Tonga.
Oh, wow. Bloodline's going to interfere. Are we going to get some Tonga Loa chops finally?
So then we can get Tama Tonga versus LA Knight in the second round. Reignite the Bloodline feud for LA Knight. It's a possibility.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
So who's making it to the finals? Who do you think is going to be in the finals? Because Gunther and Ilya, I believe, can wrestle in the semis.
Okay, so... Look, clearly Gunther's going to win this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, well, no.
I've seen some
Feels like
speculation.
it should be Gunther versus Carmelo.
Oh, could be.
Should be, because Carmelo, dude, they're gonna do big things.
They got huge plans for Melo. Yeah, absolutely.
Could you imagine if they get to the finals and Carmelo beats Carmelo, like in his first thing is King of the Ring? He actually wins it.
I mean, there's a lot of intriguing matchups on the SmackDown side if it's Gunther reaching the finals. You got AJ, you got Orton, you got Melo. Those are all potentially really good matches.
So it's AJ versus Orton.
Yeah.
Boy, who wins that one?
I mean,
That's a
AJ can cheat and win.
You want AJ because he's the match guy. So let's say AJ cheats and wins. Then who's he going up against?
It would be the winner of it'd be Carmelo, because Melo's wrestling Baron Corbin.
Okay. AJ versus Carmelo. Boy, that's gonna be a good one.
And
you gotta let Carmelo get that win though.
Yeah, and you gotta expect LA Knight's probably gonna beat Santos. And the Bloodline will help Tama Tonga beat Lashley.
Yeah, right.
I've seen some people say now that Jay's in the tournament that it might be a Jey Uso Tama Tonga final.
Oh, that'd be good.
From a storyline perspective,
yeah, there's a
really
bunch
good.
of stories that they could be telling here.
Yeah.
Hey, I like that. That's nice.
Maybe have Jimmy return to help Jay beat Tama Tonga. Start the reconciliation between the Usos. There's good stuff there.
Oh, that could be good. Ooh. Oh boy. Yeah, that's a good one. Jey Uso versus Gunther in the semifinals. That's a possibility then, huh?
Jay has to get past Ilya though. That's his next match.
They might hold off on Gunther Ilya, dude. They might hold off on that. Have them avoid each other. Jay's got to win something big, man.
You'd think so.
Jay's got to win something big.
Yeah, you'd
think so.
So.
Jay versus Tama Tonga in the finals. That's a possibility. Yeah, maybe you're right about that. That could be.
Who knows?
Keep that bloodline story going.
Yep.
Let's talk about the Friendo Club setup, dude.
Let's do it.
So, as you guys know, huge, man, you guys got to check out over at Friendo Club Wrestling. It's our other channel. It's the highlights from the reaction stream the other day. This is like the biggest moment in the history, I think, of our Big Blue predictions. Both cash-ins went down. John Hosey. Dude, I made a shirt and a hat for him last night. A shirt and a hat because he's our first 3-time predictions champion. First ever. This dude is racking up. John came in and said, not one, not two,
not three.
This is young in his career.
Yeah.
He's the Anthony Edwards of the predictions challenge. Can we agree on that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
He survived 2 cash-ins in the most dramatic moment in Big Blue history. Obviously, Big Red history, Enforcer winning at 39. We know that. But this is a new era, the Big Blue era. John Hosey, dude, this guy is he's a real leader. And he survived 2 big cash-ins. You can see the moment right now over there at Friendo Club Wrestling. And it was a great moment. And if you want to participate in our next week of champions, it's coming up soon, man.
End of the month, yeah. We got
John
Double or
Hosey's.
Nothing and King and Queen of the Ring, same weekend.
John's going to be, he says he's the LeBron of predictions. We're moving on to the future, though, John. You're the future, man, and that's Anthony Edwards. Okay.
Yeah, Ant is the future.
Ant is the future. Ant-Man is the future. So anyways, we've got a huge event coming up. John Hosey's going to be putting that Big Blue title on the line at the next week of champions, which is, of course, as you said, Double or Nothing and King and Queen of the Ring, same weekend, end of the month. And for you to participate, if you want to get in on this action, head over to patreon.com/Steven Larson and click on the Friendo Club setup. You also get bonus episodes and access to our question threads. We have a weekly bonus podcast where you and I talk about everything and anything under the sun that is not wrestling. No wrestling talk.
We don't talk wrestling.
Just Steven Larson chatting about life and culture and whatnot.
And whatever we want to.
Whatever we want to. So every week we got a new Friendo cast. Our Big Blue Predictions Challenge, which you can also get. You do the Patreon, or you can right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson, click join, It's $5 a month either way you do it. We offer 2 ways, Patreon and the YouTube channel memberships. You get the same thing either way. It's $5 a month. It's a great way to help support Going in Raw. Friendos right here, Steven Larson. So check that out. Also, hit that subscribe button and the notify bell and hit that like button. It looks like a thumbs up. Larson, can you simulate on a human hand? There you go. That's what it looks like.
Well, it's
right
more
there.
like this.
It's more like this. Yeah.
Imagine, my hand being cut off right here at the wrist.
Right. But it's like cake, no blood.
But there's a sleeve.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, John Hosey talking all sorts of. He said the T-Wolves might finish the Nuggets. Might.
Feels like they kind of finished them last night.
Bro. See, I was cracking up because that poor Nuggets crowd, they were like cheering every time they would close the gap to 20.
As close as they would get, though.
They were like, yeah, we got it down to 20. Oh, man. Yeah, dude. Anyways. So, yeah, let's dive into it. Raw kicked off. How did Raw kick off? I ain't got my notes in front of me.
Oh, they kicked off with Judgment Day. We had to recap Backlash, but Judgment Day comes to the ring. Priest grabs a mic and says, main event Jey Uso, it seems to me you and the entirety of France love him, huh? Doesn't matter because I am still your world heavyweight champion, so all rise for El Campeon. So I feel the need to speak about what happened with Judgment Day at Backlash. And Finn's like, listen, man, we know this 100 times. JD and I must have apologized hundreds of times. We're sorry for what happened, and we mean it. And Priest says, no, we're cool. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what happened after. What happened after that was on me. I lost my cool. You both came out here to try to help me win. So sincerely, I'm sorry and thank you. JD, I appreciate you, man. Finn, you're my brother. So they all hug. And then Dom sneaks in for a hug as well. He says, back to business. Priest does. Because I'm still El Campeon. We are the most dominant faction in this business, and Finn Balor is your next king of the ring. Finn takes the mic and says, since poor Drew McIntyre is medically cleared, guess who gets a first-round bye? Me. You know what that means. It's the first step of the prince becoming a king. So Adam Pearce walks out and says, whoa, hold on. Must be confused. Drew, yes, out, but you're not getting a first-round bye. You don't run Raw. I do. So you got to face main event Jey Uso tonight. So Jey's music hits. He comes to the ring. That match starts now.
How do you feel about Judgment Day? Not a ton of discord there. They seem to be all right this week.
It's going to be a constant thing where they something happens, there's tension. They patch things up a bit without addressing the underlying issues. They're treating the symptoms, not the cause of what's going on.
The underlying issue. What did you think about the? I saw this on Twitter. The eagle-eyed viewers out there. Dom in this segment had his purple bandana. Later on, no purple bandana, but that purple bandana showed up in a photo shoot in the pocket of one Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
So are they doing it, Larson? Is she clapping the cheeks for old Dom Mysterio?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe more will be revealed.
Is his new finisher going to be the back shot? I can't.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness.
I couldn't even finish on that one, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Jey Uso, let's get back on track here. Jey Uso gets the win. We could have more conversations about that if need be later on.
Please.
Jey avoids a coup de grace, hits the spear. Finn kicks out of that. And then Drew McIntyre appears through the crowd, stares at Jey. He's not happy that Jey took his spot. So Finn rolls up Jey, gets a 2 count there, hits the sling blade, looks for a drop kick, runs right into a spear, though, and Jey covers to get the win afterwards. Drew gets in the ring, stares at Jey, and then Jey dances with the crowd. And then we go backstage. Ivy Nile's warming up for a match later against Zoe Stark. And then Becky is walking backstage. She has a one-on-one interview later on with Michael Cole. That interview probably could have been cut down a little bit, too.
Yeah, talk about going nowhere, my goodness.
What was up with Michael Cole last night during that interview? Like reverting back to, I don't know, like 2010 Michael Cole.
Yeah, I think everybody's a little bit off last night because him like pressing her on the hat, like shut the fuck up, man. Just move on with the interview.
I know.
He was trying to be cute and clever.
I know. He's trying to be funny. It just wasn't hitting.
Yeah.
It wasn't working.
She was like, I don't know. It's a hat. I always have these outlandish outfits. I was hoping he would bring up the monorail salesman.
Exactly.
Seth Rollins.
There's another picture where you can see Seth's hair tucked into the hat, so he still has long hair.
I figured that he just had it tucked up. Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy if he did.
I guess they did just come back from France. That's what 8-hour time difference. Mm-hmm. You gotta expect some jet lag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So maybe that's why everybody was a little bit off. Hey, what do you think about CM Punk getting stuck in the WWE headquarters? Stuck in the WWE headquarters. So he's there.
That was hilarious.
But he's like, he made it seem like, in one of the things, I thought it made it seem like there's people in the office on Sunday or something like that. How could he not get out?
I mean, I think it was just a big troll.
I think it was too.
Yeah, he was just having fun. Yeah. I mean, that's part of the absurdist comedy of it. No, I thought it was funny. He seems like look, man, he ain't backstage choking people out. It doesn't seem like he's grumpy.
He is a choke artist, though, Steve.
Yeah, I know.
By his own admission.
Bad jokes.
Look,
I'm guilty as charged myself.
Bad joke. So we get a Sheamus and Gunther video package. They did a good job of hyping up Sheamus and Gunther as, a major fight. So hats off to them for that. Then Drew's backstage with Adam Pearce, and he's upset about Pearce picking Jey Uso to take his spot. And Pearce says, "This is nothing to do with Jey. It's about your arm. You can't wrestle." And Drew says, "I don't care. I'll tape it up." And then Pearce says, "You tell the world you're hurt. I tell medical to check you and you aren't cleared, and now I'm the bad guy." And Drew just says, "Screw you. I'm sick of this." And so he gets in his, I think it's a Corvette, and drives off. And then as soon as he drives off, like a yellow vintage, was it a Firebird? It looked like a Firebird.
I don't know. That car looked amazing.
It looked like a Trans Am.
It looked
Firebird.
great.
And so it pulls in to right where Drew was parked, and CM Punk gets out. And so he gets out, and Pearce is like, "You're late." And Punk's like, "Where's Drew?" Pearce says, "He just left." And then Punk says, "Well, tell the truck to play my music. I'm going out to the ring." So they do the shot where it follows him as he goes all through backstage to Gorilla. And Nikhil said it was a Camaro.
Z28, okay.
So he gets to the ring, goes to the Gorilla, gets to the ring, drops a promo, says, "It's good to be, Steve, you want to do the CM Punk stuff? I've been talking a lot."
Yeah. Also,
I know
you're
a huge Phil fan, so.
Yeah, you give me the sleepy promo. I appreciate that. Also on the way to the ring during that long shot, you see Chad. Let's talk about this really quick. You see Chad Gable dressing down Alpha Academy. Yeah. And he looks at Punk. He's like, "Hey, Punk, how's it going?" He's like, "Hey, take it easy on them." I love these things. I really do. You and I, for ages, we used to talk about how much more interesting television can be when everything seems like one big connected story, one big universe. And doing these long extended shots just does that. Boy, oh boy, Chad Gable, phenomenal wrestler. And I'm sure this triple threat match with Sammy and Bronson Reed, and we'll talk about their match here in a second, is going to be really good. But, man, I thought they had something really good with him when he German suplexed Sammy out of the arms of his wife. And instead of completely and totally, like, I was talking to Maggie about this last night. She was like, "Dude, could you imagine if this dude, like, sort of surprise German suplexed Otis and just completely divorce himself of the Alpha Academy?"
Yeah.
That would have been some killer TV. And I feel like, man, they might still do that, but I feel like they've really sort of dropped the ball on that one angle, that one big moment of his. They dropped the momentum on it.
Yeah, I know.
And so him continually just sort of being kind of a comedic asshole to Alpha Academy, I feel like they sort of they missed out on something big.
They did. They totally did.
So anyways, like you said, CM Punk comes out. Okay, let's see what I can leave out here. He says, "I got locked in headquarters at Stamford." He said, "I had a weekend. Got locked in headquarters at Stamford. Once I figured that out, I drove straight to be here with you maniacs. Once I figured out where, Raw's going to be here in town."
Hartford,
he says,
yes.
I said, "I came out here to fight Drew McIntyre, but apparently he's left the building." He says, "Pat, last week, you recall I said last week I could do my business in a shorter amount of time than his world title reign." He says, "But he left. What if tonight we go overtime? What if I stay long enough for Drew to come back? You know he's at a red light, but he's not texting his wife. He's scrolling through Twitter. So please get your phones out, take your pictures, tweet at him that I am live and in living color. And if he's not a coward, I know it's a big ask. If Drew's not a coward, he'll turn around and come back. And on this ring, and in this ring on the ice Gordie House skated on for the Whalers, he can catch the beating he deserves. He says, I'll hold this show hostage. I'd ask what you want to talk about, but that's somebody else's deal. So can I tell you a story? And this is actually kind of a cool aspect of it. He talks about the actual injury. He says, back in January, Drew DDT'd me so hard, I posted my arm to prevent neck damage, and I tore my tricep off the bone. I like when they sort of explain, number one, it's putting over what Drew can do. Mm-hmm. He DDT'd me so hard, I had to change how to take it, and that injured me. I like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He says, I was heartbroken. I thought he ruined my WrestleMania dreams, but I had a good cry, a great surgery, picked myself up, realized he didn't ruin anything. He delayed my WrestleMania dreams. He says, in baseball, they call me a 5-tool player. I can do everything. 5-tool player. Drew is just a tool. Didn't really land. He says, weeks turning to months. I have to turn into, He says, I have to tune into this show, which I was excited for, and watch this guy come out and talk about how he prayed for me to get injured and proud that I'm injured. He picked a personal fight with the pettiest man on the roster, maybe on earth. I said last week I'll make his life hell, and I plan on it, but his bitching and complaining went from I hurt CM Punk to CM Punk ruined my WrestleMania plans. CM Punk ruined my title aspiration, broke my elbow, hates the way I look, talk, and walk. He references Kendrick thing. He says, when I tune in, all he does is talk about me. He sits in the ring like me, tries to talk like me, tries to be like me, and it dawned on me, do you hate me or do you hate yourself? You're a choke artist. Unlike me, a real choke artist, referencing the Jack Perry thing. So he keeps on going. But he says, he punctuates it by saying, all this praying you do, the fact you haven't showed up yet, it shows me the one thing you fear, 3 syllables, CM Punk. And then he sits in the corner, talks about coming to Glasgow later on. Kathy's with Ricochet backstage, asks him about Ilya. He says, I'm very familiar with him and his work in NXT, but this is Raw. This is the King of the Ring. Tonight's my chance. And then Braun shows up. Ricochet. Braun. They hug. He's like, and Kathy's like, hey, so what happened last week? He's like, I've always always be the man who stands up for the little guy. This guy, Ricochet. He says, not about me, though. It's about Ricochet. Go out and show him how you can bag groceries at Kroger. No. He says, go out and show him why they call you King Ricochet. Go get him, kid.
Yeah.
So it was good to see Braun back.
It was. Before Ricochet has his first round match, the King of the Ring tournament against Ilya, we get a Queen of the Ring first round match. Io Sky taking on Natalya. This match was really good.
Ooh.
They have Natalya in the ring, give her time. She can go.
Yeah, man.
Io, we know she can go.
Dude.
So this is a really good, really good match. That powerbomb Natalya hit Io with. Oof.
Yeah, that was
happens.
That was nasty.
That powerbomb. Io kicks out at 2. Natalya brings her to the corner, but Io rolls through. Looks for the standing double stomp. Natalya avoids that. Dakota distracts. Io sends Natalya into the corner neck first, then hits a Meteora. Heads up top, hits the moonsault to get the win. Really good match. Natalya's had herself a really good week with NXT Underground on last Tuesday. Her Raw match tonight. Really good match. And if this is a sign of things to come for the Queen of the Ring tournament, give them time. I think someone said earlier this match is about 10 minutes or so. Hopefully each round the matches get a little bit longer. Yeah, this was a really good opening bout to the Queen of the Ring tournament. Enjoyed it a lot.
You know, man, I would love, similar to how they recognized that R-Truth was doing such good stuff. They were like, hey, let's put him in a position where him and Miz now tag team champions. It would be so great because you're absolutely right. Natalya's on a hell of a run right now. Let her get a shot at like the world title. Not a shot, but let her get a run with, maybe like one last run with like one of the world titles. I think that'd be awesome. Or introduce, man, she'd be a killer first, Intercontinental Women's Champion if they're going to introduce that.
That's true. So Damage Control gets in the ring with Io, and Dakota says, 2 years ago, we took over Raw when we took out Becky, and now we're back to put everyone on notice. Io just dominated tonight, and I'll step in for an unfortunately injured Asuka and take out the Bird Lady, Lyra. Now that we're here, I want to give a warning. Jade and Bianca, enjoy those tag titles as much as you can. For you, Becky, you do your thing with that charity case, Liv Morgan. We'll be here to take everything, whether you like it or not.
That is right. After that, we had this really good Ilya Dragunov video package. And then we get Ricochet versus Ilya Dragunov. And this match was awesome. It had Ricochet doing like 4 suicide dives and then or 3 and then a tope onto Ilya on the outside. I mean, that was just like one of the many awesome moments of this match. This was really cool, man.
I'll say the crowd in Hartford last night was not the most enthusiastic or the loudest.
No.
But I felt like Ilya got a pretty good reception, and when he set up for his finish, there was a good portion of the crowd that knew what he was doing.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Because he kind of calls out for him. He does a torpedo, and there's a portion of the crowd, you get to see him repeating what Ilya was saying. So that was good to see.
Yeah.
That was good to see. In the end, Ilya, though, gets the win. When Ilya landed off that superplex. Ooh.
Yeah, it looked gnarly. Yeah, I think that's when he got busted open on the head.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an Ilya match unless he bleeds from his mouth or head somewhere.
Yeah, right.
So Ilya hits Ricochet with a running knee, goes for a power bomb. Ricochet escapes that. Ilya looks for a back fist. Instead, Ricochet hits a back stabber. Ricochet with a springboard moonsault that Ilya counters with a punch or something midair. Hits the power bomb, follows it up with an H bomb. He goes for the torpedo, but Ricochet counters with the recoil, gets a 2 there. So Ricochet heads up top. Ilya instead hits the superplex, floats over, and it connects with another H bomb to get the win.
I love that H bomb.
Yeah, I like we did off the top rope. That was crazy.
Yeah, it's such a simple move, but it's like, goddamn, it really lays that forearm in. Anyways, let's see here. So they pay some respect to each other after the match. Jackie's backstage with Sheamus. She's like, so talk about your match tonight with Gunther. He says, well, you see, a lot of people might not know, but I went through medical procedure after medical procedure to fix my neck and to get back here. He says, now it's not secret. I don't like Gunther, and he likes me even less. He gets under my skin, and unlike anyone in my career, imagine King Gunther. Unbearable, isn't it? Everybody knows at Clash of the Castle we had a banger. WrestleMania was a banger, but tonight I'm finally going to kick his arse, be a 2-time King of the Ring, and claim the moniker we use back home. Ardry, the High King. Wasn't to be for Sheamus, but that wasn't until the main event.
Yep.
Instead, next up, we had Zoe Stark versus Ivy Nile. I'm hoping Zoe goes far because they're not really doing anything with her from like a personality or character standpoint. But like, if they let her get in these like 10 to 12 minute matches, people are going to start coming around because God damn it, she's good in the ring, man. She's really so good.
She is really good. And this match was pretty good. Zoe gets the win, following a reverse suplex Z360. And also, even though Ivy took the loss here, Ivy Nile took the loss here. This was what, like a 5-6 minute match. Give her more opportunity to showcase what she could do in singles competition. You know, she's been involved in the Maxine Dupree storyline for weeks. It was good to see her in a singles match, and hopefully there's more of that down the line for her because she's a pretty impressive wrestler when given an opportunity to showcase what she can do.
You know, dude, Ivy's one of those cases where I wonder if in NXT, look, I'll never advocate for adding personality and dimension to a character, right? But when she first came around, just her general look, her presentation, her vibe, sort of was like a bit on the Dean Malenko side, where it was like no nonsense, comes in there, like gets a submission win or whatever it is, and leaves, business taken care of. And like, I kind of feel like that might have worked more for her than palling around with like the what's their faces, the Creeds,
Alpha Academy. Oh, the Creeds, yeah.
And so I don't know. I wonder. There's got to be that sort of, and she's always been kind of no nonsense, But I kind of want them to double down on the no nonsense thing, the Iceman, that kind of shit. Because I think she'll be fine. Like, she's pretty new. Like, she's just on main roster. But yeah, Ivy Niles, she's so much fun to watch too.
Yeah, she is. And it's a good showing for her, even though it was in defeat and the match wasn't the longest, I believe, of the three. I think it was the shortest of the 3 Queen of the Ring matches. But still a good showing for her, and hopefully we see her more in singles action. After that match, we had R-Truth brings with him UConn Huskies men's basketball coach Dan Hurley. I don't know. I don't think he's related to former Duke and Sacramento King Bobby Hurley, but I could be wrong about that. I looked at his Wikipedia page and I saw nothing about Bobby Hurley on there.
You would think that would be there. Let's see. Let me look at
Bobby. I believe
Hurley's
Bobby Hurley's dad was a basketball coach.
Maybe they Bobby Hurley. Let's see here. As players.
Yep, they are.
They're brothers?
Yeah.
Cool. Right on.
All right. This wasn't anything obvious on Dan Hurley's Wikipedia page. So
there you go.
There you go. Mystery solved. So you got Truth. You got Dan Hurley. They're talking to Adam Pearce. And Truth is pitching a match against the UConn Huskies. And even Dan Hurley's like, what are you talking about? So Miz walks in and says, Truth, you got to talk to me first before we set up another tag title match. We can't face UConn. And Truth is like, well, they're from UConn Huskies are from a small wrestling promotion, independent, called the NCAA. And there's WWE taking a shot. The Final Four taking WrestleMania weekend. Because Truth says they're small time. And then Dan Hurley said, I told you, we're the Huskies. And Miz says, we can't fight the Huskies. They're a basketball team. And Truth says, a sport's a sport. Miz says, Pierce, I'll get back to you on our next defense. Truth, I need to talk to you. So they step away. And then Bron shows up and says, why am I not in King of the Ring?
Pierce should have laughed at him. Because we're trying to do not 30-second squash matches here.
Yes.
It's the weirdest thing because Braun's capable of doing longer matches. We've seen plenty of them.
I know.
Why do they only have him doing these 30-second matches?
The idea of squash matches is there's the rare occasion where they work still in today's wrestling. But by and large, it feels like something from a bygone era to establish somebody. We know at this point the level of in-ring talent across the board is off the charts.
Yeah.
Show us. And we know they're performers. This isn't a real fight that Braun's winning in 30 seconds. We know he was allotted 30 seconds to perform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you want to impress me with Braun, especially they keep touting his physical ability, give him longer matches that showcase what he can actually do, not less.
Yeah. No, I
Unless
agree.
you're going to have him beat Ricochet for that speed title.
Oh, gosh, he's going to be the X champion.
Give him longer
Twitter
matches.
Champion. Yeah, dude, I agree. It's how do you not have this dude hung around NXT probably a year too long.
Probably.
And not to say that he didn't develop his character and do some fun stuff with the Wolf Dogs there. But my point is, he's main roster ready. Get something ready for him. And I get it. Sometimes, it's obvious now, Triple H, he wants to get things right as opposed to get things done now. And I'm pretty sure they'll crack Bron Breakker. They'll figure him out.
Yeah.
But it is kind of funny. He's like, why am I not in King of the Ring? It's like, well, I don't know. Cause you're more like a speed guy at this point, what can you do? So
Stop booking me against jobbers then, Pierce.
Well, that's a valid point because it's like, okay, well, the flip side of that, in the story, he's able to destroy these people in a matter of moments. So yeah, maybe he should be in King of the Ring because he hasn't taken an L. He's just beat everybody in record time.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe he should be in King of the Ring and he's got a good point here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's lots of splaining to do, I guess is my point from kind of all sides here.
Yeah, there is. Pierce is like, hey, come to my office. We'll talk about that. So
Because it's funny, like it's because like Gunther in his promo later on is like, I'm not interested in having bangers. And it's like, yeah, you shouldn't necessarily be interested in putting on good match. I think Brock said that once. I'm not interested, like as a character. I remember hearing this somewhere. As a character, you shouldn't be interested in putting on a good match. You should be interested in winning, your matches.
And really, you should be interested in not just winning, but winning in the quickest, most efficient way possible to take the least amount of damage. I get all that.
Right, yeah.
From a storyline perspective. Yes.
Yeah.
That being said, beating people in 30 seconds in wrestling these days is not interesting.
No, you're right. In terms of getting the crowd interested in who you are.
Yeah.
Like it ain't, it's that it worked for Goldberg. It doesn't work for a lot of people. And even
the last person it worked for was probably Ryback.
Yeah.
So after that, Alpha Academy make their way to the ring for Chad Gable's match against Bronson Reed. But first, got another Gunther Sheamus video package. And then we're backstage with Judgment Day in their clubhouse. They're chatting. And Finn says, I'm apologizing week after week. I'm sorry, but I should have won. It was Jey Uso. I had it. Priest says, it's cool. It's one loss. You're still the prince. We rise. Take it easy. And JD says, weren't even 100% after that oaf. Braun came out last week and attacked you. And Priest says, yeah, he's going to be taken care of. Matter of fact, by you. But before that could really register with JD, Dom walks in with Carlito.
Yeah.
And Priest is like, nope, immediately. Not having this. Says, I know you have history. Stop. He looks at Carlito and goes, 1 year ago to the day you cost me a moment in Puerto Rico. You understand? I don't know what's going on with you and Ray, but if you're looking for friends, there's none here.
No amigos.
And Carlito says, that's the past. You're the Judgment Day and rule Raw. That's cool. Look, I need help with the LWO, and for what I've seen, you know how it goes. You scratch my back. And Priest goes, yep, I got it. Tells Dom, get him out of here. And then JD says, what did you say about Strowman? And they all just look at him.
This shit cracked me. Carlito cracks me up because he was trying to do the Carlito Caribbean cool bit. He's like, oh, you're Judgment Day. You rule Raw. That's cool.
He realized that wasn't connected.
That wasn't doing shit. So Priest said, so then he's like, all right. He basically drops his Carlito voice and says, look, dude, I need help with the LWO. Yeah. Priest's like, fuck off, man.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah, and then that little bit with JD was like, wait, what'd you say about Strowman? That was good stuff. Then we had Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed. Not terribly shocking. This ends in a DQ because Sammy shows up, takes out Gable.
It's just not terribly inspiring stuff. I get it. It makes sense. It's just, I don't find myself that engrossed in the story because it's kind of the same thing over and over again.
It's been like, 3 weeks in a row now? They've done the same thing. It kind of writes itself, I guess, is the point. Look, I feel like the match is going to be good. Clearly, they're just sort of protecting Gable. Let me ask you something. Like, under Triple H, we've seen this a couple times now. You do the triple threat to protect somebody, right? And it predates him. But
yeah.
But is there any chance that they buck the trend here and Gable escapes with the title?
Without pinning Sammy or by pinning Sammy?
Well, look, if Sammy gets hit with a tsunami and Gable's finish, it's not terrible for Sammy. Like, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just opening this a conversation because at a certain point, yeah, the match quality is going to be really good, but the outcome, once it gets formulaic, then it's sort of like, okay, what are we doing here,
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I don't know. I mean, it'd be nice if it kind of subverted the trope. But until I see it, I'm hard-pressed to believe it's actually going to happen. I mean, it's happened before. There's been several times where third person added to match to eat the pin because they want to protect the other two participants, and it doesn't go that way.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Just more often than not, when that happens, it's like, they don't want Sammy to get beat. They don't want Gable to get beat. Have Bronson Reed in there. Seemingly anybody could beat him.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And plus, Josh Matlock here mentions also this is going to be going down in Saudi Arabia. I don't think Sammy's going to lose there.
No. Nope.
So, yeah. Nope. But no, at some point, it'd be nice if they're like, oh, a triple threat. And it's not just because they want to protect the two other guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. And they've made a modest effort to try to motivate from Bronson Reed's perspective while he's adamant about being included in this over the last 2 weeks. But come on. Mm-hmm. We all see through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They want to have Sammy and Gable be in the ring together, and neither of them are going to get pins. Hence, Bronson Reed's in there. So this match is going on. Sammy hits the ring, takes out Gable. We get no contest. So then they all just start beating the hell out of each other. Gable, Sammy, Bronson Reed. And Reed ends up standing tall after Bronson hits Sammy with a Uranagi. So Reed walks out of the ring. The camera follows him as he goes to grill and walks up to Adam Pearce. And Pearce says, "You guys can't control yourselves. Every time someone has to interfere." And Reed says, "I don't care about Sammy or Chad. I only care about the Intercontinental title. This is business. If you want control, you know what you need to do." And so he leaves. And then we get a Lyra Valkyria video package. Her match is coming up momentarily. But first, we get a Gunther promo.
Gunther, I faced Sheamus in the first round, and I hear he's concerned about putting on bangers after bangers. I do not care about bangers. I care about being the greatest of all time, and if I need to expose Sheamus for the weak-minded people pleaser he is, so be it. He's no obstacle for me winning at King of the Ring. I'm already your ring general, soon to be your rattlesnake King of the Ring.
What?
Where?
Was.
What is it?
That's German for what? Was.
No, what is
Was.
Was.
Yeah.
Was.
So then we got this Becky Michael Cole sit-down interview where he's more concerned about talking about her hat from the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, this is.
It was, I don't know. It just felt awkward. The format of it, how it was set up, and then she pivots to talking about new Raw roster members, puts over Alba Fire, puts over Isla Dawn, Kiana James, and probably puts over the most Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah.
So Becky talks about their history. She says she's the most gifted competitor I've been in the ring with. She loves us as much as I do. Plus, she has the Irish spirit, which doesn't hurt either. And Cole talks about Zelina winning Queen of the Ring last time they had a tournament. And then talking about her match at WrestleMania when she was sick. And Becky says, I was sick, but not making excuses. I lost that night. 2 weeks later, I got the chance to beat 14 of the people to become the Women's World Champion. Liv Morgan comes out. Watch me.
Watch me.
And then she says, blah, blah, blah. You're talking about all this other stuff, but you're overlooking me. I'm underappreciated here. In case you forgot, I'm Money in the Bank winner from World Women's Champion, multi-time tag champ. She says, I beat Nia in this ring last week, not to mention I took out Rhea Ripley. You're welcome after all that. I don't get an ounce of respect, and that blows my mind. You want to talk? Let's talk about the title match you promised me. And then Becky's like, all right, you got it, King and Queen of the Ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And says, you haven't beaten me, though. And Liv says, you're right, I haven't beaten you, but until listing all my accomplishments, I realized what I was missing all along, purpose. I know what my purpose is, and that's getting revenge on Rhea, and that's taking everything she loves, and that means becoming Women's World Champion.
Including
This brings out Damage Control.
Including Dominic Mysterio. Oh, man.
Yes.
Anyways, yeah, this does bring out Damage Control. And Dakota's like, look at that. Liv gets a title shot. She did nothing to earn. She was like, we've got Queen of the Ring on lockdown. Io already made it. I plan on following suit. We came at her to show you who really runs Raw. And then they get up there and they're like cornering Becky and Liv, who end up back to back, about to face Damage Control, until Liv is like, nope. And she rolls right out of there. And Becky's like, what the fuck? So Damage Control moves on Becky. That brings out Lyra Valkyria. Yeah. What? Wow. The joke is real now. Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah.
She takes out Damage Control, stands with Becky before we have her match with Dakota Kai. We got backstage Jackie's with Sammy. And he just sort of talks about the stuff with him and Chad. He says, yeah, it's just, I'm great when the pressure's on. So
yeah, I got knocked down. I'll get knocked down a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we had Lyra taking on Dakota Kai. Really fun match.
Yeah, it was good stuff right here, man. That
Lyra
springboard stomp was fucking cool.
What's that?
When Dakota stomped Lyra.
Oh, yeah.
The little springboard, it was cool.
Like, Lyra's so polished in the ring.
Yeah, she's really good, man.
She has been for shit since she was in NXT UK. Like,
It is like
wrestle.
it is a breath of fresh air, dude. It's a breath of fresh air. So Ilya as well, you know. These call-ups, I think, are going to help freshen things up quite a bit.
They are, I think, from the in-ring perspective. It's just finding, from a character standpoint, where they fit into Raw and exactly kind of what their, I hesitate to use the word gimmick, but who their character is going to be, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. Because you got to be a bit more. I think the thing about Lyra is that you got to be a bit more than earnest. You know?
I know. And if
It's
they
very
really
earnest.
push, like your earnest bird lady, all right,
Bird lady.
give me more.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, and Ilya, his character can't just be intensity.
Oh, I disagree with that. I think Ilya's like, he's the one guy. You could just be intense guy. Like,
No,
I don't
but
know.
he could be intense, but there's always kind of wrinkles to him. Like you expect an intense guy to be like, I don't know, a frothing madman. He's like really nicely dressed and really eloquent when he speaks. You know what I mean?
No, you know, I remember ages ago in UK, I think it was when he was going through his Gunther PTSD. They did a couple bits where he would go back home and he'd hang out with his family.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
His character is in NXT is more than just intensity incarnate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like,
if
it's
he
funny.
was, he'd be running through walls like his entrance had been running through the wall of the PC.
Well, that's
You
Bron
know?
Breakker's gimmick.
Well, that was foam, Steve.
Oh, yeah, that was foam. That was Michael's art supplies creations.
Yes.
Yeah, Michael Cole said something last night, and it felt very Vince-ish, like, I don't know, oh, this guy is absolutely crazy, you know, oh, look at him,
It was if it's the line I'm thinking of, it's something along the lines of Ilya said in an interview or something, like he's asked if why are you so intense, and he says, I'm not intense, I am intensity.
Yeah.
And yeah, that sounded very cheesy, but
And it was like, you're right, it lacks dimension. But I'll put it this way, he could also be one of those guys, because he's got a very magnetic presence.
he does.
And that might, and it has, I think, carried him a long way. Like if they just do with him on main roster what they did with him in UK, he'll be totally fine. And I think that'll do it. Yeah.
I mean, just the losing to Gunther the first time, how much dimension that added to his character, and that's what I'm talking about. His defining characteristic could still be intensity.
Yeah.
But there's got to be more to that than just intensity.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm so much less worried. The funny thing is, if Vince was still around, I'd be super concerned about it.
Oh, he'd have Ilya out there basically doing the Ultimate Warrior. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Come on, let's get froth at the mouth. You know, that kind of shit.
Go out there and shake the ropes a bunch.
Yeah.
So Lyra gets the win here in a fun match. Dakota misses a detonation kick, but hits a scorpion kick. Ends up eating a Nightwing from Lyra. Lyra gets the win. So who does Lyra face next round? I forgot. I don't remember who she faces next round.
Is it? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't recall.
I don't have a
Io?
photographic memory.
Zoe. Thank you, John Chambers. Is Zoe.
Zoe?
Stark.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
That'll be really good.
Yeah, that'll be really
Give him
good.
15 minutes. Let him go.
So backstage, Kofi Kingston. So they kayfabed, you know, Gunther. This is why Woods isn't in the tournament, because Gunther done fucked him up last week.
Yeah,
he was like,
pretty much.
this should have been Woods' thing. He says, but he can't do that now because of Gunther. He's injured, and I can't wait to face him. He says, but first I got to get through Rey Mysterio. As much respect as I have for Rey, I got to put him down like I'm Kendrick Lamar or Drake. I got to win this for Woods. I got to do this after all these years. There are 3 words ringing truer now than they ever have. New Day rocks. Kofi will get past Rey because of who's Rey? Because of Carlito, probably.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And then they announced the matches next week. Jey versus Ilya, Lyra versus Zoe. And then we get our main event next. Gunther taking on Sheamus. I think the second time in a row where Gunther's needed help beating Sheamus.
Yeah.
I think after Clash of the Castle, they had the rematch, and he needed help to beat Sheamus there. This time he had Kaiser trap Sheamus's leg in the ropes, drop kicked it, and working, again, kind of hearkening back to the Woods match, injuring a knee and then just obliterating it from that point on, chopping him. In this case, Sheamus, and did it with Woods too in the leg. And Sheamus had a giant red handprint, Gunther handprint in his back after one chop.
Yeah.
It was gnarly. His chest was bleeding. It was all hamburger.
They did what they could. I don't know if Sheamus put up a picture today, but they did what they could. You know, the PCO Gunther bit, that's like the bar, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody's going to get there again, but
I don't know, because that was like one chest-sized bruise.
yeah.
It went beyond hamburger.
Yeah, it did. It was like medically unsound.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, it was just a phenomenal match. Like you just, called the story. In the end, Sheamus couldn't hit that bro kick because he couldn't run on the knee or on the leg.
Mm-hmm.
And that allowed Sheamus to grab him and put him in a single leg crab. And even though he tried to fight through it, Gunther sat down basically on it, and then Sheamus had to tap out. But just an absolutely phenomenal
good stuff.
match.
Really
Really,
good
really
stuff.
great stuff. Yeah.
Really good stuff. All right, Steve, you want to answer some questions?
I think that would be a good idea at this point in the show.
Yeah. Timor here asked, who on the SmackDown side of the bracket could benefit the most from winning King and Queen of the Ring tournaments? I don't believe, as of right now, I've seen the SmackDown side of the Queen of the Ring bracket, unless they were unveiled today. As far as the men's side, I don't know if anybody can benefit more than Carmelo Hayes from winning the whole tournament.
I wonder, given what we saw last week on SmackDown, I don't know if you watched it, but there was that bit. I know you know about it, the bit between Carmelo and Bobby. I wonder if Carmelo and Bobby are going to meet in the tournament.
Oh, could be.
Bobby would have to get past
Tama Tonga.
Bloodline. Yeah.
Bobby would have to make it to the semifinals, I believe, then.
Okay. All right.
The final of the SmackDown bracket, which is entirely possible.
John and Alistair voice says, now with Tonga Loa as part of Bad Bloodline, who are you most excited to see him do his hard-hitting chops to? I wish they were on Raw so we could see him do that with Gunther.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Gamer Realm asks, which wrestlers in history do you think had the most successful careers with being King of the Ring? I don't know. The answer is not Steve Austin.
Who had the most successful post King of the Ring career?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's Austin.
here's a deep one. Riff Machine says, I've been rewatching Fun and Steve W seasons.
Oh wow.
Truly hope you guys do this again at some point, but I've noticed with season 3 of Steve W, there seems to be a lot of missing episodes from the playlist. Was there ever a reveal as to who killed Steve, as well as the Bacon Report? I don't remember the Bacon Report. I think I might have stopped doing that before there was a reveal as to who killed me. Or it was Lacey.
I think it was Lacey.
I forget. Do you think
I
it was
think
Lacey?
It was Lacey. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Maybe it was Lacey.
Kind of remember that, yeah.
That sounds familiar, right?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Okay. All right. I'll see if I can cobble those together.
Kazarn says, what would you do to make King of the Ring mean more? Would the winner getting a title shot work like Lesnar in 2002, or do you think it is fine as it is?
Title shot.
I think you should get a title shot if you win. Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Sober Chad remembers. So the Bacon Report was Butch and Earl's investigation into who killed Steve. Bro, we've done so much shit in our 10 years.
Yeah.
Just gone. I'm working, like I told you, man, I'm working on 256 gigabytes.
Yeah, totally.
I don't have the 2 terabyte.
Yeah, same. Cruz here says New York was the unofficial home of WWE. Do you see that changing in time with Endeavor's already established relationship with the city of Las Vegas? You know, I thought this yesterday, now that Battleground is going to be at UFC Apex. What if they moved a portion, I mean, not all, I think it's feasible to move all, but a portion of NXT's tapings to Vegas, especially with the CW deal. They do stretches in Vegas. They do stretches in Orlando.
I definitely see that. That'd be cool. It'd be cool, assuming the crowd is good.
Because why would I'm still trying to wrap my head around, other than just the synergy of TKO being WWE and UFC, of why you take NXT Premium Live event, which have been doing pretty well in terms of ticket sales. Selling
you could sell
tickets,
8,000 easily, yeah,
and putting it in a venue that can maybe hold 1,000
or 100. We don't know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, No, yeah, it's weird. It is weird.
Business-wise, it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense.
Leaving money on the table. Primetime Rambo says, when you think of Money in the Bank, who has left the biggest impression? To me, there's two names. It's Seth Rollins and Edge.
Yeah, same.
The first and the best.
Andre Zimpel here says it's safe to say my T-Wolves will sweep the Nuggets and win it all after they play the NWO Wolfpack theme during halftime after Game 2.
That was rad. I saw that.
Yeah.
Let's see. I will say this, though. This has been bugging the crap out of me. T-Wolves need a complete overhaul. If this is going to be like the new era, the A team, they need new logos. Like Timberwolves is a fine name. The name is fine. You can have the name.
Yeah.
But like blue and gray and like their logo, it's just I've been looking at their stuff, man. It's so boring.
What would you suggest if they were going to do a complete refresh on their branding?
NWO Wolfpack, black and red. Absolutely.
Corazon here in Twitch chat says werewolf aesthetic.
Did you see at that hockey game they had Jason Bateman and Michael J. Fox sitting next to each other?
No.
Yeah, both the Teen Wolves. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Blast from the past. They should have done a shared universe movie.
They should have. That guy Maui says, what do you all think the chances are Triple H might look to bring back Jim Johnston for themes once the Def Rebel contract is over? I'd be surprised, but you know.
Same. Yeah, I'd love it. I think, assuming the guy, still wants to do it, I think it'd be great, but I'd be kind of surprised if it happened.
Yeah.
Dylan Sinclair says, is there a possibility Jacob Fatu aligns with the Usos rather than the new bloodline?
I suppose it's possible. But I'd be pretty surprised. He seems to be a perfect fit for Solo's bloodline.
I think he's much cooler as a bad guy.
Yeah, I think so too.
I want to see nice Jacob Fatu.
Luis says, okay, if you're Triple H, which 2 matches are you kicking off the show to make room for Punk? I'll get rid of Gable and Bronson Reed. You can do that next week. That story could take a breather. Kick that one off.
Yeah.
And...
yeah, that's.
All the other ones are tournament matches, so you have to kick one of the tournament matches off.
This is what I would do. I'd get rid of, to make room for 2 matches, you got to get rid of 2 things. Get rid of Gable, Bronson, make that a backstage brawl. And then Becky Liv is a backstage brawl.
Yeah.
Boom, done.
Yeah.
The whole hat thing with Michael Cole. That's, people can be tuning out of that shit.
Yeah, I know. Aussie Dragoon says, what's the over-under that Drew's going to hit Punk with a car in the next few weeks? No. You got to limit Punk exclusively to the in-ring action once he's cleared. Any other sort of action?
Stuntman.
Sure, you can have a stuntman do it.
Yeah.
But Phil himself, absolutely not.
No, God, no. No. You don't want to do that. Rusty McBadbat says, this King of the Ring seems to be Gunther's big coronation to the upper card. My question is, if Gunther wasn't in this tournament, who would be the best choice to take it? Ilya or Carmelo, in my opinion.
Yeah. Either Ilya or Carmelo. If not them, then Jey Uso. He needs to win
Jey
something
Uso,
of consequence. You know?
There's a bunch of people who actually, that would benefit from this pretty big. Yeah. Pretty bigly. Jonathan Vieira says, what wrestlers are currently in the running for going in Raw Wrestler of the Year? Isn't it Tongaloa for his debut, being late to the ref pull?
Yeah. Hats off to that ref for knowing that he had to get pulled out of the ring at 2.5 and making it happen with no one touching him.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and hats off to TV. I mean, that might have been just, a happy accident because of how they framed it.
Yeah.
Man.
Luis asks, who are wrestlers who are entertainingly snug with each other or have no problems being stiff with each other? Luis mentions Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew, and Kevin Owens and Sammy. Okada and Omega.
Yeah.
Really, anybody that's comfortable with Gunther being stiff with them. Yeah, it works. Snug, I should say. Snug.
I love playing word association with you.
Sure. Yeah, I saw that one earlier.
Joe the meme maker has word association here. First name that comes to mind with these tournaments, Larson.
Yeah.
King of the Ring.
Austin,
yeah. Money in the Bank.
Edge.
Same. G1 Climax. Don't think about it. Do it.
I guess Okada.
For me, it was Kota Ibushi.
Okay.
CCW King of the Deathmatch.
Oh, Nick Gage.
Zandig. Brawl for All.
Oh, Bart Gunn.
I thought of Butterbean. He wasn't even in it.
Nope.
He just faced the winner. The NXT Dusty Rhodes Classic.
I
mean, it's Ricochet and Aleister Black for some reason.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Battle of Los Angeles.
Wow.
Keith Lee comes to mind for some reason. Did he ever win it?
I don't remember. Ricochet, because he won it.
He won it, yeah. The Cruiserweight Classic.
Kota Ibushi. Or
Zack
Cedric
Sabre-
Alexander.
Zack Sabre Jr. Yeah, Cedric Alexander. It's a good name. The Mae Young Classic.
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah. Yeah. I love word association.
Yeah, that's fun.
The Big Cringe says, it's my birthday. So if you guys could have one wrestler or team be in charge of organizing your birthday party, who would it be? And take the New Day out of it, because they'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That's like most obvious answer.
Not Judgment Day. Here's the thing. In the old bloodline, if you're in the good graces of Roman, you get the steak, you get the sushi.
Oh, yeah.
You get the private jet, you get the umbrella service.
Yeah.
So if you're not in Roman's
but
doghouse,
Roman would make it about Roman, though.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's my birthday. Evolution.
Oh, all right.
The Evolution. Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. What's going on in NXT tonight?
The Combine tonight.
Ooh, that actually sounds fun.
Yeah,
For once, I'm looking forward to NXT.
I know.
Cool.
Hopefully, it's formatted in a way that's really intriguing and fun.
I want some silliness.
Well, that too. There will be silliness. That's inevitable. It's NXT, Steve.
Yeah, that's true.
You got Trick on Supernova Sessions, Chelsea versus Roxanne,
Supernova.
Mia Yim versus Ariana Grace, and then Shayna Baszler versus Carmen Petrovic. Plus the Combine.
That's fun. Yeah, John Hosey's got it right. Roman would say it's our birthday.
Hey, that's fine, man.
That ain't fine.
Give me the
Like, it's
bone-in
my
filet and
birthday.
the sushi and the private jet and the umbrella
You do all-
service.
the entire time. You're spending your entire birthday. All that stuff would be ruined because you're just worrying about not stepping on his toes on your own birthday. Nah, man, my birthday's about Steve. Not about the tribal chief.
Meh.
Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time. What, Hilton? I know, we're wrapping it up. You heard me wrapping it up.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. For heaven's sakes.
For heaven's sakes is right.
Goodbye.
For Hilton, for heaven's sakes.
Goodbye.
I hit the button.